So, something I'm really triggered by that I before I even say anything, I completely recognize that it's this reflection of my past self that is showing up for a reason. But what I really don't, I just don't like it. I don't like to be around it. Is people who are versions of myself who speak in such a way that they totally know everything. That especially like pseudo spiritual types or whatever, that like, I'm so spiritual and I totally have all of the keys to the universe and you totally don't, and you just need to like go to this class or go read all these books and you'll become an enlightened master like I am or whatever. And like, I don't know, once you see the vision, then everything will make sense to you, you poor soul who hasn't been exposed to the things that I've been exposed to. It is especially triggering when well, actually, no, it doesn't matter what the age is, I don't think. And it is just with it, like, spiritual esoteric things or whatever, like, because it's the same thing when someone's telling me to read the Bible and save my soul or something. But that knowing, that like defensive knowing, that's what it is. It's being so overconfident as a way of defending yourself. And it doesn't just happen with spiritual things, but like the spiritual ones are just the ones that trigger me, I guess. But like, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of really vague sort of pseudoscience of what we are as vessels or as pieces of technology, and I don't want the conversation to end, but I really don't like when people talk about stuff like they have any idea what they're talking about. There's like this chain of regurgitated information that flows through so many people and so many social spheres and so many cultures. I mean, like, subcultures of whatever language it is. That by the time it gets to like somebody here who's trying to tell me whatever the fuck they're trying to tell me, it's some like watered down, totally non-specific, totally irrelevant version of whatever maybe a little bit of science or a little bit of research was done to get there. And just because someone somewhere this one time conducted some study that happened to suggest that maybe their point was correct, rattling off that stuff like it's fact is not okay to me. And I would also like to point out that that like I talk about that stuff sometimes in conversation from what I've heard, but there is a difference in tone of someone who is claiming to know in a defensive way, and someone who's just fucking speculating, because we don't know anything, and actually, as it turns out, everything's true, right? So that's the story that I subscribe to, is that I can assume any story at any time and it'll totally serve me, right? Like, that's my game strategy, is that I believe in everything and thus believe in nothing. But that doesn't mean that I don't occasionally believe in stuff, because I also believe in everything. And I'm also like, I'm not saying I'm right either. I haven't the slightest idea when, I don't know, the whole thing just frustrates me and it triggers me, and no one's doing anything wrong. It's just a perception reflection that I'm dealing with, and now that it's showing up in my dreams, it's just time to talk about, I think. But it's something else I like to verbalize, that I'm studying. I was studying for my psychology exam, and there's this part we're talking about, like the moral cognitive development, and there's this phrase, life is sacred, which is true, I think. But when I was reading it, I was thinking, death is sacred, creation is sacred, destruction is sacred. It's all sacred, and I just don't want to be prejudiced against death and destruction, and not in a way of like, yeah, fucking death and destruction, but yes, death and destruction, because it's all life and creation, and just like even that being a popular, well-established phrase in how we talk about morality and spirituality and stuff, it's just prejudice, is what I think. I also think, I think that one day people are going to look back on our civilization and think of how totally like backwards and archaic and racist we were for not giving our pets the right to vote or something, like the separation of anything at some point is going to look so barbaric. I feel that way with the way we talk about death. That's all I'm saying. God, this is like a whiny bitchy video. I have to put it up though. That's the terms of the agreement that I made with myself. And this is day 100. That's